Alright. Hey, everybody! Ooh, wait, no, I'm a professional. No. There we go. Okay, nobody saw that, right? Yeah, we can all agree? Alright, let me get us logged in, and then we can make more progress. I hope everybody's beginning of the week is going well. I know I've made a lot of progress. Been getting a lot of good work done. And all right, here we go. Okay. So, when last we left off, we were gonna find out what answer to the question, the Ea had reached. Before we hear the climax of the Ea's tale, mayhap I should speak of... On second thought, it would only be a distraction. We will talk more when the time is right. Okay. 'Tis true that a lack of knowledge can beget fear. Therefore, in theory... Oh, wait. We've read his thing before. Are you guys just saying... Okay. I think I have actually read these already. Alright, Arianje. What is up? Where knowledge leads. Something seems to be weighing on Arianje's mind. Ere we join the Ea, there is one trifling matter I would fain investigate. Shizune, Grahatia, might I trouble you for assistance? But of course. Yeah, sure. My thanks. We shall head outside the abode if you would kindly follow me. I know not what mischief you are plotting, Arianje, but I trust you have your best interests at heart. The rest of us shall go on ahead to Elegea. Lest you worry, we won't start without you. Or is that Elegia? Like elegy? No, that should be eulogy. I'm stupid. Go on and assist Arianje with his mysterious task. We shall wait for you. There is naught but desert out there. What could Arianje wish to investigate? As long as Arianje explains himself to you, then I shall be satisfied. And do lend him an ear in my stead. I don't have ears, you guys. I have horns. We've been over this. I'll be more than happy to lend him a horn, but that is the best I can do. A spring, and a sizable one at that. I hadn't noticed it amidst the dunes. Okay. It's water. Aye, this place shall serve. Is it the spring that you wish to investigate? Pray forgive me, my friends, but there is naught to investigate. 'Twas but a pretense to speak in private. Ooh, letting us in on your secrets? That's new. You have our undivided attention. As we have established, here in Ultima Thule, those denizens of ruined stars are recreated in their twilight days. Yet one question doth arise in my mind. So faithfully formed are the simulacra, they believe themselves yet amongst the living. How dost thou suppose this is possible? Medion brought around about the destruction of their peoples? Medion made contact with them while they still lived. Of course! She must have visited the stars of the dragons and the Ea before their race perished in their entirety. Thus could she make their emotions her own, and with them create more faithful simulacra than had she relied on any historical account. She may have even been the one to drive them to... So too did I theorize, and upon that assumption, consider how those two races may have met their demise. Yeah, that. According to thine own tale, Medion perceiveth the emotions of those nearby as her own. A heightened sense of empathy intrinsic to her nature as an enteleki. In the course of her starfaring journey, if she encountered beings who strongly desired a cessation of their existence, she would be powerless before that desire. Even as she possesseth the power to grant it, the power of Dynamis. 'Tis my supposition that, overwhelmed by their longing for death, Medion did unleash Dynamis and ushered the dragons and the Ea unto their doom. So if not for her interference, they may have been fine. Of course, such was not always the outcome. Full many stars did she find already lost to ruin. In order to create a terminus, however, the fervent desire for the end is essential. Therefore, should you struggle to find the way forward, pray ask yourselves this. In the place where you stand, whose is the soul that yearneth most desperately for oblivion? Why do you tell us this now? Ne'er again would I betray your trust. This pledge I did make to my comrades. In bringing thee into my confidence, I would remain true to my word. Why not involve the others, then? As for thee, let us consider it my fitting reward for the secrets I harbored for the Crystal Exarch. I once placed my faith in thy chosen path, walking at thy side, full knowing that we were bound for thy demise. I ask now that thou returnest the favor, and abide in faith as I fulfill mine own destiny. If you say my debt has come due, how am I to refuse? Do I get a say in this? 'Tis indelicate of me, I know full well, and I can but beg thy forgiveness. Yet even if I must needs go to such lengths, I cannot well feign ignorance of the answer I have found within. The answer to the question, in what moment might I stand strongest? After all that we've been through, I will say only this. Do what you must. Do what you must and see your conviction through. I shall, my friend. I shall. Without further ado, then, let us go to join our comrades. Let us be off, too, to Elegia. Sure. Oh yeah, in case anybody's noticing, for when I gain access to the crystal vendor, I have in fact gotten to rank 2 in Ultima Thule, so I'll be able to buy that writing map as soon as we get there. It would seem your star too has been plunged into a panic-induced cataclysm. We hope that our tale will not serve to exacerbate it. What do you mean, our planet too? Because that just furthers the theory that these planets didn't die because of, like, the natural course of history. It was because of Medion's interference. Oh, you're here already? Your comrades said you would be late. Your companion in front, the one called Y'shtola. She seems the keenest to learn the truth. I pity her. We have prepared for our recounting. To facilitate comprehension, the information will be simplified to match your primitive minds. Thanks. Don't mind me. Come, let us hear the Aya's tale and learn what caused such enlightened beings to crave nihility. While we waited, we mentioned our star's situation to the Aya. They nodded sagely, or something to that effect. I understand you've taken care of business. If you are ready to begin, then so are we. It seems everyone is accounted for. Shall we then?
Please continue. Tell us about this truth you discovered.
Very well. Bear in mind, however, that the purpose of this conversation is not to impart scholarly knowledge, for such requires that you comprehend the subject matter, which you will not. We will forego the intricacies of our scientific methodology and deal only with the conclusion, the end of our society and our world. We acknowledge, with regret, that your star is in the midst of the same panic-induced cataclysm that befell Deneb 3. As such, in order to avoid causing undue distress, we will refrain from explicitly stating how much time you have remaining.
You are entirely too kind. I pray you recount your tale as you see fit.
In the beginning, the universe was but a tiny particle. Then suddenly, this particle began to expand. Having remained entirely in the bounds of your star, the phenomenon may be difficult for your kind to grasp. But this expansion has since continued unabated. Speculating that the universe could not grow indefinitely, we sought to learn what might occur, and made a worrying discovery. The stars will continue to spread apart, as will their finite thermal energies. Eventually, all heavenly bodies will grow cold and freeze. No new stars will be born, and the universe will enter into an eternal ice age. In hopes of proving that this determination was erroneous, we scrutinized our research from all angles, even as we sought to avert the everlasting winter. The endeavor proved fruitless. So infamously so, in fact, that it became synonymous with vain effort. the universe as we know it would end. And there is no way to prevent it. Beneath the weight of this knowledge, our society stagnated. Though we had time still, it was a cold comfort. Why strive for anything when desolation is assured? When our wealth of wisdom, accumulated since the dawning of our kind, would be forever lost. No civilization would rise from our ashes. No scholar recover our knowledge. In silence unbroken, naught would stir. Intellect was once our pride. Overnight, it became our shame. Our works, monuments to futility. Immortality, our greatest invention, became a source of suffering. Rather than suffer on, many chose to unmake themselves by means of etheric exsanguinators. Etched upon these stones are the testaments of such souls. Though many left no words at all, thinking it a pointless gesture.
Hi, Ash.
Once we have obtained vessels of flesh, we likewise intend to vanish. If you understand this, understand aught of our tale, you will abandon your quest for knowledge. Ignorance truly is bliss. If you would cling to your illusory happiness, remain primitive and pure.
First cutscene of the night.
It is the only way.
Well, first voice cutscene. We had a conversation with Urianger. We kind of discussed the fact that, like, the reason why the dragons and the Ea seem to be so fleshed out, so to speak, even though these are like reflections of dead societies, is because Medion interacted with them. She went to their planets while their societies were still alive. And I can't remember if this is where we made that conclusion or if she explicitly gets called out later on this, but like, Girly basically solves or caused these worlds' destruction. I don't know how much of it was conscious and how much of it was her doing to those planets what she's talking. Let me rephrase that. I don't know how many of those planets got destroyed before the Hermes like the Medion incident at Elpis, and how much of it may have been led up to her getting to that point. But considering the fact that her whole deal is singing a song of oblivion to destroy worlds, these may have been other societies that she's sang that song of oblivion to. She didn't find exclusively dead worlds. Some of the worlds she found had living beings on them, and she basically robbed them of their hope. Or robbed them of their chance to find hope by destroying them. These guys even say how, like, oh yeah, the calamity your star is currently facing, that's what happened to our planet. So, like, she basically final dazed a bunch of planets that may have still had life on them if it were not for her. I just realized all the more reason why they should have had... Hang on.
So that's your story.
Okay, now that I don't have to worry about talking over somebody, all the more reason why Midgar Stormer should have been involved in this expansion directly. Because what that means is that when he left the Dragon Star to bring his children to what ended up being Aetheris, it kind of implied, like, he either was running away from the Omicrons, which, yeah, or he may have also been directly running away from the effects of Medion, and this would have been a chance for him to help us face off against the thing that destroyed his planet, that caused him to run away and be chased by Omega in the first place. Damn, that would have been good. I get he's asleep if you've done the Omega raids. I still think they should have been like, yeah, we're gonna wake him up for like one final climactic moment, and then like have him go to sleep. And I know also Omega is optional. That's the thing, is that like, and this is something I'm gonna open my video essay about Endwalker with. My standards for an expansion. Pacing needs to be good. I mean, that's true for any piece of storytelling. Things need to make sense whether you have done optional content or not. And they need to be justifiable whether you've done the optional content or not. There's no way to, if you haven't done the Omega raids, justify Midgar Stormer's absence in Endwalker. And if you have, I don't buy the fact that, like, they couldn't have written it so that he pulls himself out of his nap one final time to help us fight, and then in the story, in MSQ, have him go to sleep for a long time to recover his energy, and have that be how they write him out of the story in MSQ. Final Fantasy references need to make sense. And it can't feel like they're referencing one Final Fantasy just to force it in when another one would have felt more natural. I also think Final Fantasy references should feel integrated into the world building. And be a lot more subtle than a lot of the Final Fantasy IV stuff is in base Endwalker. I don't mind it so much in the patch notes because it's a smaller story, or in the patch quests because it's a smaller story. It works. I think it works a lot better. I don't feel like it's missing. I don't feel like 4 is being referenced at the expense of other Final Fantasy games in those quests. Maybe you could have gotten some optional dialogue referencing 3 with like, or like more specifically referencing Cloud of Darkness and Scathic and stuff, but but yeah, so like the fact that Midgar Stormer is missing when this would have been his chance to, after spending thousands of years on Aetheris, having taken refuge, be able to face off against the thing that is responsible for him and his bloodline being the last remaining of his kind. Maybe also try to find a way to incorporate Omega, but I think that would have required either making the Omega raids a requirement, or they would have had to start setting that up in Stormblood with more of an interaction with Omega in MSQ. Because since our only actual moments of talking to Omega and knowing what his origins are come from side content, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think the way they handle it is fine. Maybe they... Well, I don't think they even would necessarily actually scrap that, because Omega's kind of a tiny little minion right now following Alpha around. As cool as it would have been to have Alpha show up, Omega's main body is kind of out of commission. So that bothers me less. The Midgar Stormer thing, especially since we go all the way back with him to like A Realm Reborn, and he was like the self-professed guardian of the star up until we rolled up. Like, and that would have been such a special moment of, okay, my work here is done, I'm leaving. Like, I need to take a nap. I'm leaving the planet to you until I wake up. Don't fuck it up. And then in story, like in MSQ, he goes to sleep once we get back to Aetheris. That would have been amazing. Maybe even have had his minion pop up when we were dealing with the dragon so that he could have... Man, imagine if they pulled him out when we were dealing with the dragons and he could have been like, oh, so that's what happened to my people. Shit. Anyway, moving on.
While I appreciate your advice, I will not heed it. Convinced though you may be of this truth, it is yours and not mine. Indeed, truth, I have ever believed, is in the eye of the beholder.
Also, with the Aya and their conclusion is based off of the state of the universe as they understand it. I read tarot cards, for context. And like, the thing you have to, I feel like they're responding the same way as if somebody interpreted a tarot card reading as like, this is objectively the truth of what's going on or how things are going to go without any way of changing it. And the reality is, it's no. A tarot card reading is based off of the circumstances in that exact moment. Sure, as things are, maybe the universe will keep expanding and everything will turn to ice. But what's there to stop another tiny little particle like the one that created the universe in the first place also expanding and repeating the cycle and preventing things from completely freezing over?
Are you suggesting that we have reached a faulty conclusion? That our science failed us?
Hardly. As you yourself said, the subject matter is beyond my comprehension. And that, I accept, is true. I do not possess the knowledge to prove or disprove your conclusion. In my mortal years, I doubt I could even approach the wisdom of the Aya. But of one thing am I absolutely certain. I would not be happier in ignorance.
Y'shtola, no! You mustn't!
Ariane is just standing there like, damn, that's hot.
The most important lesson I've learned is that learning isn't simply passing one's eyes over words. Nay, 'tis when understood for oneself that knowledge attains its true value. This is what has sustained me, driven me onward in joy and wonder, in anger and sorrow. The universe may end, and all may be for naught, but I will live as I always have. I will always seek out new knowledge, and no conclusion of yours, no matter how grim, can dampen my desire.
I suppose it is only to be expected. Their feeble minds cannot fathom the terrifying gravity of it all. But worry not. We consider it our duty to enlighten you, and we will not stop until you grasp the full extent of our despair.
Keep calm and listen well. Though my body will soon dissipate, there may be a way to restore it. Azim's magic. So long as our souls remain, you can use it to summon us back.
So it's not even a sacrifice.
But you mustn't, for it would mean losing our way forward. This I only reveal so that you can promise not to invoke the magic. We came here knowing what victory may cost, so press on. Press on, and do not look back.
Reminder to everybody that I ship.
I shall join thee. As subterfuge is not required, thou shalt not suffer for mine absence.
Urianger.
My resolve hath never been as strong as thine. Full oft have I wavered in my decisions, and afterwards been stricken with regret. In spite of this, I may still stand with my comrades, supporting them as they attempt the greatest of feats. This truth I have learned in the course of our journey. And many though my shortcomings may be, I may also claim to excel in prophecies. My studies, into which have granted me the flexibility of mind needed to bend this malleable reality.
In other words, they couldn't think of a good way to write Urianger sacrificing
Thus
himself.
shall I hope that thou mayest have the strength to resist, and our comrades the strength to continue.
I feel like they just did this because they couldn't think of any other way to have him sacrifice himself in this arc. But reminder to everybody, I ship Urianger and Ishtola,
With you
so...
to urge us on, how could we possibly fail?
I guess now it's a spaceship.
What's this? An extinguished civilization. Rekindled.
That's right. Our quest doesn't end here. We'll press on, and we will find you.
There. That's where you'll find me.
Is that another star?
Of the stars we visited, most were already devoid of life. And where there was life still, the inhabitants wished for death. But even death, we learned, isn't truly the end. It is but a part of the cycle of rebirth. Souls return to the star, or in its absence, a larger flow. And eventually they are reborn. Alive again, to know suffering anew. True salvation lies not in dying. It lies in not being born. This is the gift I would give to you. To all life on beautiful Aetheris. To that end, we created an egg wherein life cannot quicken. That dead sun. Attain it if you can, before your friends' emotions fade away, along with their protection.
Side quest time! Never have I felt such emptiness. It's as if a part of me is gone. I'm fine, Shizune. Like I said, our quest doesn't end here. I might as well start this quest, because it's probably Omita's XYZ place. Actually, no, I'm gonna do the side quests first. Okay, so Dark Knight time. Okay, so here is my issue. Well, I guess I'll, yeah, once we actually get these quests. Raruth has something to ask you. I have a question. One that can only be answered by a being of flesh and bone. Will you hear it? Sure. Thank you. Before I ask, however, I require that you learn more of my kind, lest your answer be senseless and vapid. You can come to know us through our final words, though, alas, you cannot comprehend them in your corporeal form. Thus, I shall temporarily free you from your body, allowing you to perceive as we Ea do. Please indicate when you are ready to shuffle off your mortal coil. Wow. What wild wording. Okay. So here is my issue. Is that, you know, I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and she pointed out the whole idea of, like, oh, life is suffering and you need to accept that to, like, be able to live and stuff, and that being Heidelin's message. That's a very Buddhist way of thinking. And it's very much at odds with the idea of, like, no, we should keep striving to make things better because, like, we shouldn't just give up. Like, you know, my way of wording the definition of hope is acknowledging the fact that despair exists and continuing to keep going, which is different than just accepting suffering, not trying to make the world better and just, like, living with it. And I think they try to make both the message of Endwalker, and it doesn't work because they're at odds with each other. And I think Ultima Thule is a really good example of how that doesn't work, because, you know, the characters are sacrificing themselves, and on a first playthrough, a lot of people did not buy that the Scions were actually gonna die, because they're the Scions. They're like, besides the Warrior of Light, they are the main characters of the game. And on top of that, so it loses its emotional impact in that way, because people didn't really buy it. You know, like I said on Sunday, I never believed that Thancred was actually gone after he sacrificed himself, because they would, if he was to die, he would go out in a flame of glory in a cutscene, not off screen, probably saying some really fucking cool final words. And that didn't happen. He died off screen. And then Y'shtola is just straight up like, hey, by the way, Aslan's Crystal can bring us back. And I was like, cool. So we know how we're going to bring everybody back. So there isn't the emotional impact for a lot of people. And for me, like, I had a lot of anxiety the first time I played through this, because my rule of thumb has always been, the more death flags a character has, the less likely they are to die. But I always get a lot of anxiety when a character does get a bunch of death flags, because I'll be sitting here being like, oh god, what if this time is the time that isn't true? What if the devs know that we know this, and so they know that we're, like, at least kind of confident this particular character isn't gonna die, and they subvert our expectations by actually killing off the death flagged character? So at least my first playthrough, I did have a little bit of anxiety, because I was like, oh god, what if? But my second time through, I don't have that, because I know what happens. And another, like, when I was talking about my standards for, and honestly, this is what a standard I have for writing in general, is I respect a person's right to play through a story unspoiled, because you only get to experience a story for the first time once. However, I also think being spoiled or playing something a second time, knowing what happens, should not impact the enjoyability of the story. If anything, maybe it even augments it. It most certainly shouldn't take away from your ability to enjoy the story. And so much of Endwalker, I feel like, hinges on the shock value and the anxiety of not knowing what's gonna happen, that when you do it on a second playthrough, it doesn't have the same impact. It's not as enjoyable. It's like, okay, here they're giving us these very emotional, or what are supposed to be very emotional moments with these characters, but I know I'm gonna see them again in a few hours. I know what happens. I know I've said this a few times, but when I played Endwalker the first time, I cried on the moon when we ran into Hythlodaeus, and it was because of the shock of it. Because I wasn't expecting him to have been one of the people sacrificed on the to Zodiark. I know a lot of us were hoping, or, you know, people were speculating that we would encounter one, or like his reflection on the source, or one of his other sundered fractions somewhere. There were even people who speculated that Raha was Hythlodaeus. And then we encounter him on the moon, and part of why I cried was oh, we're not gonna get that. But like the second time, like when I played through it on this character, I knew it was coming. I knew he was there. It was, oh, we're gonna run into Hythlodaeus soon. Okay. Oh, the Scions are sacrificing themselves. Well, see you guys at the climax. And it robs a lot of the emotional weight, which is why with my I Can Write It Better essay, I am exploring how to better write the character arcs and how I would do a version of Ultima Thule that is more thematically consistent with the idea of not giving up and not sacrificing yourself for the sake of like pushing forward. Because again, that also feels like a contradiction of the thing. It should be about not giving up, not being like, you know, us coming together and standing together to fight against hope, not people sacrificing themselves to push somebody forward. And I get some of that might be a cultural thing, but I think that would, at the same time, well, maybe a cultural thing, but I feel like that has been a big theme of Final Fantasy as a series in general. The power of friendship, even if they aren't even if they're like at a distance. Like there's so many Final Fantasy games outside of 14 where the main character is pushed forward by hearing the prayers of their friends or like by the bonds of their party members that they're fighting side by side with. And I would have rather if Ultima Thule had been about us leaning on each other and finding ways to together cover for each other's weaknesses and stuff and be one another's strength, instead of a bunch of sacrifices that just feel like a cheap play at an emotional response. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Moving on with side quests. The thinking Ia is quite visibly ruminating. How fortunate that you are here, corporeal being, for we're in need of your assistance. I am sure you saw some of my kind drifting about the untamed wilds just over there. As I understand, they are binding their spirits together as one in hopes of diluting their consciousness and thereby erasing their sorrows. Unfortunately, the resulting amalgam doubtless longs for more minds to incorporate, and if other Ea approach it, we may be drawn into the growing mass against our will. Your corporeal form seems to outweigh your mental capacity. Wow, thanks. So you should be safe, however. Please, destroy the collective conscious before it kills us all. But wait, I thought you wanted to die. Your ready acceptance gladdens me. I believe that if you lay waste to two wandering souls, the amalgam will appear. Do be aware that while your mind is safe, it may present other dangers should it realize that or what you are attempting. I think this thing just tried to say I have more bronze than brains. Nunuk appears to be staring right through you. Pardon me, traveler. I lack the sense of time as perceived by those of finite lifespans. But might you be able to spare a moment to speak with some of my fellow Ea? It is rare to find one so unmarred by the scars of deepest wisdom. Your appearance and perceptions as an outsider differ so much from our own that I wonder if a degree of that interaction might prove stimulating for both parties. Much obliged. I shall mark their location on your map. They tend to spend considerable time frequenting their usual haunts. how are you doing? Ah. Oh, I can probably wipe out 2 quests right here. Stress sick, I'm sorry. Well, hopefully you can make yourself some nice calming tea, and this probably isn't the best part of MSQ to be watching while trying to de-stress, but yeah. I'm really sorry. But yeah, make sure to practice self-care, make sure you're eating, drinking, sleeping, all that good stuff. I don't know if we're getting to that part anytime soon. That might be a tomorrow thing. But yeah, I also remember Abode of the Aya taking a lot longer, and I don't know if we're gonna get more side quests in a minute or what, or if I just misremembered things. But yeah, it's looking way more likely that we could finish Endwalker tomorrow. No, Zev, I need you to eat food, preferably healthy food, drink water and tea, preferably like something calming. Get sleep. I can send you a recommendation for an ASMR YouTuber I follow whose videos I find very, very helpful. If you'd like, or a meditation app that I use. Like, make sure you're doing breathing, just like good proper self-care for your body and your mind and your spirit. What a curious being you are. Have my peers discovered how to regain their corporeal forms while I remained lost in thought? No, of course not. Come to think of it, I wonder if we ever possessed the peculiar form that you now do. Oh dear, I fear this always happens when I delve too deep into such ruminations. God damn it! Go. Where was I? Oh dear, I fear this always happens when I delve too deep into such ruminations. The very moment I attempt to regain clarity, it triggers this most unpleasant reaction. If my fellow Aya have not found a way for us to reacquire our corporeality, perhaps it falls to me to mediate further upon, or meditate further upon the matter. In any event, pray leave me to my cogitations. Oh. Might you kindly leave me to my ruminations? I dare say I am nearly on the verge of a philosophical breakthrough. Might I recommend, guys, a book club? Hobbies. You know, fun, enjoying food, enjoying books, doing things for fun. Ever heard of it? How curious. An unfamiliar corporeal life form calls out to me as I wait in vain for the inevitable coming of the end. This is indeed the chance of a lifetime, mayhap of many lifetimes. And so I pose to you this question. Tell me, traveler, what is the true nature of life and the universe? You guys know I have to, right? Like, this is why I named the stream what I did this, or tonight. Do I do the joke? Do I do the meme? Or do I answer, earnestly? I have to? Is it the rules? Is it the law? Well, Ash says it's the rules and the law, so I guess I have no choice. It's 42. Why, precisely! That is the very conclusion I arrived at myself. How heartening, and surprising, I dare say, to meet one as enlightened as myself. Is it bad I'm tempted to cancel the quest and redo it so that I have to, like, find out what his response to the other answers would be? It's extremely tempting. Mostly because I want to find out what his response would be to, like, my actual earnest answer. Which is that it's about adventure. Oh, you must be that traverser from beyond who has been causing quite the stir around our abode. What a stroke of luck! In fact, I had been hoping I might have the opportunity to exchange thoughts with you and your companions. For, you see, I have for too long whiled away my days in this listless banality, drifting waywardly as my mental faculties dulled and slowed. I so longed to strike up a stimulating conversation with a traveler, yet for so long none would pay me visit. That said, I never imagined you would have such a strange physical form. Pray tell, how do you keep your balance? What keeps your innards from spilling out through one of your multiple orifices in your body? For the first one, we have these really cool things called toes that are on our feet that help us with balance. And all my innards are kept in the squishy bits that don't have orifices. Oh, but pardon me. Truly, I'm... Oh, also, canonically, I have a tail. That also helps with balance. Oh, but pardon me. Truly, I meant no offense. Clearly, life in your world found this shape to be suitable. Perhaps even necessary for your survival. I don't know about that. Perhaps our own original form was equally horrifying. Wow. Seeing you makes me wonder indeed what our corporeal forms once looked like. Would our limbs be as lanky and unwieldy? Our heads as bulbous and unbalanced? Perhaps we resembled your kind in more ways than not. Wow, next you're gonna tell me you don't understand how I can craft when I have fingers instead of fins or something. Here we are. I see you made quick work of the amalgam. Of course, it is well within each Aya's rights to choose when they wish to end their own existence. But to force others to join them, however accidentally, is another matter. This whole ordeal has led me to contemplate how I should meet my own demise. Ah, but forgive me. I forgot such matters are not left to choice for your kind. Not anymore. Truthfully, I envy you. To go forth each day full of vigor, not knowing when your lives will be unexpectedly snuffed out. It must feel incredible. My apologies if I have made you uncomfortable. I am unused to speaking with mortals. Be assured that I appreciate your help, and you have given me much to think about regarding death, or perhaps life. Why is it whenever they give us dyes from quests, it's never a color I would actually use, like, ever? Anyway, we're about to get an ad, so I am actually going to hold off on turning this in until after the ad, and I'm going to go grab myself some pizza. So I will be right back. I will see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. And I have pizza. So, alright, let's turn in this quest. Did you encounter my acquaintances? I can only hope that they derived the same sense of stimulation from conversing with you as I myself did. For if so, we may yet discover a means to attain the moratorium known as death. Until that time, should you ever be in the mood for a discussion on the profound and inevitable meaninglessness of the universe, we will be here waiting. Yes, always waiting. Okay, but what if I told you about, like, all my exciting adventures and how great, like, life is and how worth living it is? Like, all the cool things I've seen and all the cool food I've eaten. And all the wild adventures I've been on. I wouldn't be able to do those things if I wasn't alive. You have prepared, yes? Very well. After you have been liberated, I ask that you read 3 epitaphs ere returning to me. Please brace yourself, as there is the recorded evidence that this may feel weird. What? Can I jump? I can jump! What a cute little blorbo I am! What a little blob! Look at the little feet and how it becomes pointy when I jump. I so squish. Where I was gonna say plushie, but no, you know what I want that they need to make merch of? Give me stress balls shaped like these guys. Or like, did you guys ever have those toys when you were a kid where it was like a little rubber thing and when you squeezed it, the eyes popped out? Because of like the air pressure. Yeah, like just give me, honestly, just give me some kind of fidget squishy thing made, shaped like these guys. I bet it'd feel really fun. I grasp eternity, yet I hold only loss. If forever has an end, why has it not come? With no future, we turn to the past, knowing none have turned to our present. We are the dead end. The dead end, huh? Where's the last one? Hang on. Here? Ah, here we go. We fought to go beyond our star. We fought to go beyond our dimension. We fought for nothing. Hi guys! Look at me! Whee! Whee! I probably can't talk to them like this, yeah. They're just gonna be like, wow, look at that really particularly chipper and actually cheerful Iya. I wonder what's gotten into them. They almost remind me of Shizune. You have read them? Or you have read them? This is well. However, you have yet to look upon our most important text. Please seek it in the charming wooded area outside our home. Ah. Oh, that is a trippy optical. Oh, wait. No, it's not. I mean, it is an optical illusion, just not the way I thought it was. I thought this was water. And I thought that the water was just very clearly reflecting whatever is above us. But no, this is the edge of the island. And that actually is just space. Oh, is it talking about that stone over there? Yes, it is. The price of eternity is joy. Its gift, unending sorrow. And now we go all the way back and hope we don't get attacked. Also, just putting this out there, pizza's so good, you guys. Now it's my turn to eat pizza, Ash, and you can't have any. So you have read all that was left behind. Those inscriptions were written by the first of our kind, the first to know the pinnacle of enlightenment, and the first to know the depths of despair. They have prepared— I distinctly remember you saying no, it was yours. They have prepared you to answer my question. As someone bound to a corporeal form, do you think there is hope to be found in life? Yes. Strange. But perhaps it is precisely that spongy form which allows you to cling to the intangible unto death. How fortunate of you, or for you. That was most edifying. Perhaps, or creatures of flesh enjoy shiny tokens, do they not? Please, have some as thanks. Oh boy, shiny tokens. Ah, yes. I shall return you to your body, as it seems you are fond of it. Oh, thanks. Okay, more MSQ. Let me switch back to the correct job. Okay, yeah, I spoke to them already. Grahatia regards his comrades in solemn silence. Are you all ready to continue on? Then let us make for where that light shone. Y'shtola and Urianger have opened the way for us. Some manner of Ea device. If our friends awakened it, then it should be safe to use. Judging by the direction, this should be the place. Yes, I can feel it. The ether emanating from the arcane pattern. This is a portal, and no mistake. Let us see where it leads. What manner of place awaits us, I wonder? Okay, I need to complain about the music real quick. This is how this or the music that was playing when we first got here should have been the zone themes. Or it should have, like, alternated between first. Because I honestly think even if a zone doesn't have a day-night cycle, they should still have, like, 2 different background themes. Because it does get kind of grating if you have your sound on to have the same zone music playing no matter what without any kind of variation. I think the moon should have had, like, maybe they could have based it off of the phases of the planet and given it a day-night cycle, or quote-unquote day-night cycle on the moon that way. Maybe this place, they could have had the sky doing something, maybe some kind of celestial event every 12 hours of some kind, or some kind of simulated time cycle, and they could have alternated between them. It most certainly should not have been the Christian rock background sound, because the thing is too, just narratively, I kind of get what they were going for with the music being one way, and then Estinian sacrifices himself and the music changes, but then I haven't noticed there being any kind of real change between before and after Y'shtola and Urianger sacrifice themselves. So it's not even like each sacrifice is building to the music. In which case, you know, then you have the song, like the actual Close in the Distance song, and I thought that was tied to MSQ and was like a climactic MSQ thing, and that would have been really cool. Treat it like an expansion theme, the way they did with Flow and Endwalker, or what they do with like every expansion, where you have at least like one, like the theme from the trailer and then another song. If any expansion was to have two, it'd be the final expansion of the story arc. But they didn't do that. And so the first time I teleported back to Ultima Thule after finishing base Endwalker, after it came out, I thought my game was bugged. I genuinely thought it was a glitch that the song was still going. And the song loses all of its like magic and power when it's still going even after the expansion ends. And my understanding is that like what that song is supposed to be is Ardbert like communicating with us. It's like, well, great, cool, but like the moment where he needs to sing to us to like raise our spirits is gone. The Scions' souls are not part of Ultima Thule anymore. They're back on Aetheris with us. They can dial back the music back to this now, please and thank you. You know, have it be the vestiges of what we left behind instead of it still being full-on Christian rock. I think I said this the other day, but like, if ever there was anything that would make me want to mod my game, what am I doing? Yoshi P, this is something that Yoshi P would totally like approve of. But like, if ever there was something to get me to like mod the game beyond Reshade, it would be to change the music in this zone specifically, and only this zone's music. Yes, it should have been a during the moment climactic piece. Well, these look familiar. Oh, right. Amazing. Yet another civilization. Looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? Attacked as soon as you arrived. Not the most welcoming of places, is it? We must try to find denizens who are amenable to conversation. We should also get the lay of the land, see how far we can go. I'll help Alpha know with that. In the meantime, you and Graha can search for friendlier folk. Sure, if we can. Apart from hostile beings, take care with your footing. I mislike the look of this terrain. Not knowing what the locals are like, you'd best take care of yourselves. We'll find you once we've finished exploring. I expect the twins will seek the outermost bounds of the Isle, so I propose we search the central area. There are machines patrolling here and there, sentinels in all likelihood. Like those you encountered, they will certainly attack any who venture too close. So let us avoid them and look for others that appear more approachable. Sorry. You'd think I'd know better than to click on something and then put some food in my mouth, but no. 6 years of streaming and I still haven't learned. You see naught but patrolling machines in the area. They do not seem inclined to non-violent intercourse. Okay, but like, some people are into violent intercourse, you know? Can I? No. Maybe Shizune's into that. You don't know. You didn't ask. Maybe that's the problem of all of the beings that ended up giving up. Like, maybe some of them just needed to get laid. They all needed to try some tasty food, or read a good book, or have some good sex. See some nice views. Technically speaking, having sex does also help prevent your race from dying out, so there's that. Although dragons reproduce asexually, so it probably wouldn't have necessarily helped the dragons, but Solitude sure as fuck didn't help them. Was that the last of the ether currents? No. Southeast? Oh, southeast. Okay. I was about to be like, if that's back on the dragon area, I'm gonna be mad, but it's not. Additional entity detected. Look, Shizune. The machines here do not appear hostile. Let's see if we can communicate with them. Begging your pardon, but we are searching for the denizens of the star. Unknown life forms detected. Assigning generic label, interplanetary travelers. Greetings and welcome to the planet. Blip, bloop. The planet, or the planet, what? Could you please repeat that? It appears your hearing organ is unable to process the name of it in our tongue. It may be translated into yours as Alphatron. Our people, meanwhile, are called the Omicrons, and you stand within one of our outposts. The Omicrons, you say? And what is it that you do here? We are preparing for war. As we presently do not have a designated target, you have nothing to fear. Should your star become designated, however, you will be taken into custody or terminated. Not a little frightening, these Omicrons, but at least they seem to be forthright. I will see what else I can learn from this fellow. If you could try speaking with the others. The rules of engagement forbid the harming of neutral travelers. As long as you abide by our laws, you need not fear for your lives. How comforting. Go on and try speaking with the other units here. With our combined findings, perhaps we can piece together the state of affairs for the Omicrons. Okay. Can I interact with their gemstone trader? An error has occurred in the trading protocol. Debugging in process. Please stand by. You must... Okay. Oh, this is important. Bloop, bloop. Autonomous weapon deployment complete. Vanguard armament upgrade complete. Munition levels satisfactory. Combat readiness assessment nominal. Awaiting instructions from Sir. Maintaining state of combat readiness. Bzzzt. Measuring combat capability. Result negligible. Subject falls outside targeting parameters. Greetings, traveler. We are the Omicrons, and our objective is self-enhancement. In order to achieve this, we venture forth in conquest to acquire combat data and resources. Most recently, we succeeded in subjugating the home world of the beings whose strength was said to be without parallel, the dragons. Yet though the endeavor yielded a wealth of combat data, the star was rendered barren and unable to yield resources. A subsequent costing determined that the losses incurred exceeded the gains. Bzzzt. Greetings, traveler. When venturing outside the outpost, beware of malfunctioning units. They do not heed Sir's commands and indiscriminately attack all non-Omicrons. For the avoidance of confusion, be advised that Sir is the alias of Sigma 1. Sir issues instructions to our forces as the foremost of the 6 strategic matrices that bear the designation Sigma. You've learned you learned a few things? So did I. Ere we share our findings, however, I believe it best to step outside the outpost. Come with me. Ah, there you are. We finished surveying the area. This will come as no surprise, but there was no way forward. There were portals like the one we used to get here, but those that worked only sent us to isolated isles. Then as before, we must locate the embodiment of the emotion that bars the way. What of yourselves? Did you find anyone to speak with? So the Omicrons seek to advance themselves through conquest. Following their victory over the dragons, they stand ready for the next campaign. But their leader has yet to issue new commands, and so they wait. In such a place, who could it be that fits Urianger's description? A soul whose yearning for oblivion surpasses all others. Urianger said this? During our investigation, before we joined you in Elegia. So that's the way of it. Why couldn't he just say it to all of us? Probably because he would have flicked him in the forehead. Given what we know of this place, it's certainly a curious state of affairs. While the dragons in the Ea longed for death, the Omicrons long for conflict. As much as that may lead to destruction, it must be considered a distinct desire. In order to find the source of the dominant emotion, I believe we should seek out their leader, this Sir. According to M032, the first Omicron with whom we spoke, there is a console by which we might communicate with it. M32 also added that it would be a pointless exercise, but that in itself, I believe, is worth investigating. What say you? Yeah, sure. What else? Might as well give it a shot. Pointless exercise. What does that mean, I wonder? Considering the Omicron's single-minded character and the lack of new orders does seem unusual. I agree that we should seek out their leader. So, the console we seek lies on the far side of this isle. Given the nature of the ground, the route may not be entirely direct as it seems. Let us all watch our step as we make our way. Okie dokie. Oh, side quests. One moment. The inquisitive Omicron is eager to understand a certain phenomenon. Assistance requested. This unit has observed a curious phenomenon in which certain members of enemy factions have exhibited a marked increase in their combat capabilities. Analysis suggests that said members share unique, intraspecific bonds with others in their faction. These individuals are conferred titles such as consort and family. This unit detected no difference in physiology that would provide notable advantages in combat. Yet the presence of intraspecific bonds alone led to an increase in performance. Records indicate that one member of a bond group exhibits this exponential improvement when others are eliminated. Potential benefits of such a... oh boy, yeah, so a certain buddy of ours, Omega, came to that same conclusion and it backfired. Potential benefits of such augmentation are... Granted, he didn't try to create loved ones of his own to make me make himself stronger. He just tried to threaten my friends. Tried being the operative word. Potential benefits of such augmentation are projected to be immense. Thus, this unit's query: are you familiar with the aforementioned phenomenon? Yeah, sure. Like I said, people have tried. People have fucked around, and they found out. This is fortunate, as this unit is has constructed a consort for research purposes. You are asked to delineate the method by which this unit might form an intraspecific bond with said consort. Requesting standby at present coordinates. Initiating consort retrieval. Have you tried holding hands? Have you tried soul gazing? I hear that's effective. There we go. Gimme, gimme. Writing map. Mine. Huzzah. N4486 is searching for a sparring subject. Initiating communication. This unit requests your participation in an Omicron combat simulation. 98.8% of the past 12,359 sessions have produced the exact same result. Thus, an unknown quantity such as yourself is required. An Omicron aggressor is positioned outside the base. This unit has instructed said opponent to record all combat session data. You may initiate your assault when your preparations are complete. Won't its records be destroyed if I smash it? It's funny, I was literally about to ask that. Uncertainty detected. We're reviewing previous transmission. Verbal analysis suggests this unit has omitted crucial information regarding the current mission. This unit begs your pardon. Once you have nearly destroyed the aggressor, you are requested to activate this device, which will automatically transfer combat data to a convenient portable format. Initiating handover protocol. Sending coordinates. Per the transmission you have just received, the opponent is located on the planar frame extending from this space. Reconfiguring emotional state to grateful. This unit thanks you for your cooperation. Activating introduction. This unit presents the aforementioned consort. At present, its capabilities are comparable to subordinate patrol units. How should we proceed? You need to grow closer. Synonyms detected. Initiating semantic review. Or closer. 1. Suggests obtaining a nearer physical proximity to the target than at present. This unit will move toward the consort in an attempt to develop the desired intraspecific bond. Visual analysis at this range reveals a dent in the target's frame. Estimated impact on functionality inconsequential. This unit requests confirmation that such discoveries will result in improved performance. No, not that kind of close. Cross-referencing gesture database. Implications identified as doubtful. Issuing new proposal to refer to the Omicron as my beloved, simulating the way in which a member of an enemy faction referred to its bondmate. Appellation change confirmed. New designation, my beloved. Reconfiguring emotional status to grateful. This unit appreciates your assistance in facilitating the creation of a special bond with my beloved. Initiating phase 2 of experiment. What is that all about? This unit will evaluate whether the destruction of my beloved bears a positive impact on this unit's combat capabilities. Transmitting self-destruct command to my beloved. Obviously it didn't work if you were that willing to throw them away. Analyzing unit status. No changes in functionality detected. Possibility of transmission failure estimated at 78%. This unit asks that you confirm that my beloved has successfully executed the self-destruct command. Retrieval of remains also requested. Okay. Awaiting confirmation of successful transmission. Retrieval of remains also requested. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Yep, that self-destruct worked. Also, I think that was the last non-quest. Yep. Last findable ether current of Endwalker. Hell yeah. This is more of an editing note than anything actually important, but... Oh. Of course he looks different. That's... Or they look different. That's the when I have to fight for the quest. Got it. It probably would have helped if they had capitalized the I, or the M and B in my beloved, just so that it was, like, actually a name. Because otherwise it looks like whoever wrote this quest wants us to kill their lover. Somebody's trying to get in touch with a contract killer in code using an MMO's quest line. Oh. Did that work? Yes. Okay. Whoop. I'm gonna turn in this one first. So I think that may have been a quest chain I started. Reviewing received transmission. Analysis suggests the aggressor is no longer operational. Requesting return of previously provided recording device. A device containing data from your fight against the Omicron aggressor. For some reason, the screen reads level 90, and its speakers are emitting a jaunty tune. Heh. It's because it's a level 90 checker. Extraction of combat data complete. Analyzing. Quality of data greatly exceeds expected values in all previous records. Reconfiguring emotional state to impressed. The data suggests you engaged the aggressor at close quarters and gave it little time to respond. This unit will submit a request to the logics matrix for the augmentation of emergency escape apparatus. Searching database for situationally appropriate axiom. Only through combat can we improve ourselves. The absence of new challenge results in stagnation. Records indicate the space has not encountered new threats in a considerable amount of time. This unit sees potential value in enduring attacks more frequently, though its Discord prevention module is buzzing in a most irritating fashion. Reconfiguring emotional state to grateful. This unit appreciates your cooperation with the collection of combat data. Analysis suggests it will prove invaluable to the further development of base Omicron. Thanks. It is a shame that this unit currently detects no hostility from you. Combat with flesh-based life forms such as yourself would prove useful to many here. While we do have data, many units lack adequate experience. It would be of great help if you decided to engage your combat loop. I wonder if the dialogue in that quest about like me attacking from close quarters would have been different if I had attacked with a ranged fizz or a like any of the caster classes. Like if I'd used a ranged class basically instead of a melee. Requesting retrieval of my beloved. Potential for reconstruction and further experimentation remains high. What remains of the Omicron's consort after it self-destructed? Self-destruct confirmed successful. Or, sadly, experiment confirmed unsuccessful. Analysis of this unit's parameters shows no change in functionality. This unit will consider executing a family simulation after reconsulting enemy faction data, but based on the results of the consort simulation, termination of research may be advisable. Recording emotional state from, or reconfiguring emotional state from disappointed to grateful. Or this unit thanks you once more for your cooperation. Your proposed methodology may be implemented in future experiments. Okay, I guess this wasn't a chain. I was kind of hoping that we were gonna actually help the robot find love. But alas, trying to find a way that won't. Nope, that didn't work. I wanted to avoid aggro. Oh, a sightseeing log location. Hang on. That's important. Hang on, guys. I'll be right with you. Oh, it'd help if I switched back to Viper, too. Alright, but first things first. Eh? Am I not in quite the right place? Really? Am I? Let me step away. Okay, so I am at the Vista. Right? No, what else could it be? Bow. Laugh. Chuckle. Joy. Rally? Happy? Blush? No. Pray? I tried pay. Respect? I don't want to stick to the ones that actually make sense. Determined? Oh, battle stance? That would have been really cool. Victory? No. Or Chiffon? No. Fist pump? No. No. Deny. Cry. What could it be? Kaboo! Hello! What's up, Danny? Trying to solve the mystery of what the fuck this... Oh, is it because I was... Hang on. Oh, it was because I had something targeted. Oh, that's stupid. Anyway, Stigma 1. The prime decision-making authority for an entire machine civilization. This mechanism has been faithfully reconstructed in Ostracron Deca Hexi. Originally hailed as Strategic Matrix Alpha 1, catastrophic damage inflicted upon its systems resulted in its currently assigned designation. Just want to look something up. Oh. I was thinking maybe Stigma was part of the Greek alphabet, but maybe it's not. Greetings, sir. Can you hear me? Say something if you can. Awaken. Activate. Password. I love that they did that callback. Well, I tried. The glow would suggest it's still operational, but how are we to interact with it? This appears to be the console, but it seems unresponsive. Would you care to take a look at it? Sure. Also, what's this? Is this just a thing? Oh, it's a light. Okay. Got it. Judging by the size of the Omicrons we've met, I'm reasonably confident the console is controlled via the orb. The glow... Oh. Okay. You guys are still saying the same thing. It's just Raha's dialogue that changed. Got it, got it. You try touching, smacking, and attuning with the console, but there is no response. No luck, I see. But there must be a way to activate it. There must.
Well, I'm out of ideas.
As am I. Operating such consoles is trying enough. But if we can't even activate it...
Perhaps there is a way. First, consider the world that has been recreated here. Its inhabitants were machines who gathered combat data to enhance themselves. And among the many wars they waged, the most notable was that against the dragons. As you've doubtless surmised, I believe this was the homeworld of Omega. Sid built a jamming device to defeat it, a device which generated massive bursts of lightning, its sole weakness.
That's all well and good, but what does that... Wait. You're not thinking to strike the console with lightning, are you?
As a matter of fact, I am. Ask yourselves this. Why would an entity as puissant as Omega not be designed to suppress the effects of lightning?
Because it relies upon it, or something akin to it, as a source of energy.
Hold on. Was this something that happened in MSQ, or are they just straight up referencing the raids right now? Maybe they should have just made the Omega raids mandatory for MSQ.
My thoughts exactly. And there is a good chance the same is true of the Omicrons and their devices. So, shall I cast caution to the wind and try something reckless and dramatic?
Or I could use my custom-made Omega Jammer.
You still have it! Sid and Nero's legendary device which brought low the superweapon Omega.
Oh, he's so excited!
Wait, the actual device was much too big to lug around, so You must only have the control module. And there I was getting all excited.
Oh, Raha, I'm sorry.
Never mind. An old-fashioned spell will suffice.
It worked!
Opening connections, communications module 1. Connection established. Transmission. Strategic matrix signal 1 now online. As the primary strategic matrix, you may address me as Sir. Checking for new communications. None found. All units, please maintain current state. End transmission. Closing connection.
Wait! We have questions for you. Of late, no mission orders have been issued. Why not? Has there been some manner of trouble?
Reply. The Extended Operations Unit is yet to determine guidelines for future assignments. All strategies are calculated, devised, and actioned in accordance with set guidelines. In the interim, all citizens are directed to maintain a state of combat readiness. End reply. Awaiting query.
Can you tell us why the Extended Operations Unit hasn't yet determined the guidelines?
Unable to comply. Information unavailable or access restricted.
In that case, is it possible for us to communicate directly with the unit?
Access denied. Unable to establish connection.
Is there anything you can tell us? Have there been any abnormalities, like a threat to the star or widespread unrest?
Reply. Negative. All citizens continue to operate at maximum efficiency. If your operations are suboptimal, please proceed to a maintenance facility for evaluation. Otherwise, stand by at your designated post. End reply. End transmission. Closing connection.
I could activate it again, but I doubt it would be productive. What do you think?
If all the Omicrons really were running as efficiently as it claimed, then I doubt they were hoping for life here to end. As this Sir told us, there just haven't been any new instructions, and everyone is standing by.
Should be standing by at any rate. If there are those that are neglecting their duties, perhaps we can glean a clue from them. I propose we take another look around, and also try to find the operations unit.
Though I never encountered Omega myself, in conceiving the means to send the Crystal Tower to the First, we borrowed much from its mastery of the Rift. Indeed, so many times did I read the report of your battle, I believe I could recite it word for word. Omega's miniature likeness also survived to the future, if a little worse for the wear. I must confess I was delighted to see it again in the present. I remember when we set Omega loose to deal with Shinryu, an elegant weapon we once thought, and here we are now, visiting a recreation of its home world. I can only imagine how else these beings will surprise us. I've been on Dark Knight this entire time. I'm stupid. There we go. Much better. Let us focus our search on the outpost. Alize and I will try speaking with the Omicrons this time, in the hopes we might learn something new. Meanwhile, perhaps you and Graha could observe them from a distance. These beings are systematic and routine by nature. If there are any that aren't, it shouldn't be too difficult to spot them. If there are no questions, then let us begin at once. As we came this way, I believe I spied a promising vantage point. Follow me. Whoop. Okay. I am going in the wrong direction. Oh, that's why I was going in the wrong direction. Raha, you couldn't have picked a less annoying place. God damn it. Alright. Watch me need the entire ad break just to get over there because I keep getting attacked. Really? There we go. All right, and we are here. That being said, we are about to go into an ad break. So I'm gonna put a pin in things until we get back. Everybody go get water, go stretch, go hug your pets, whatever you need to do, and I will see you guys when I get back. All right, we're back. So let's talk to Raha. And here we are. I see the twins are wasting no time in their inquiries. Let us begin observing the Omicrons. They're supposed to be standing by, so we should look for that, or for any that aren't. Oh, wait a minute. Hang on. I want to go and talk to the twins. We will be certain to ask about the Extended Operations Unit. The subject appears to be capable of thought, yet chooses to keep primitive armaments in its possession. Further observation is required. Not only do they look the same, they say the same things as well. Oh, it's a gemstone trader. Okay, fair enough. The Omicron is speaking with Alphino. Though you can't hear the conversation, all appears otherwise normal. The Omicron stands dutifully next to a device. There is naught to suggest unusual behavior. Now, stay still. The Omicron wanders about ceaselessly as if lacking a clear objective. What about that one over there? An Omicron wandering aimlessly? Where? Right over there. Aha! I see it! It's left the base. Let's follow it. The thing I'm wondering about too, like on one hand, I think this whole section is really interesting and really cool if you've done the Omega raids. I wonder how much, if any, impact this part has for anybody who just focused on doing MSQ and didn't do any of the side content though. Very little. Oh, did you not? Was that you, Ash? Did you not do Omega before doing this? Or, oh, you're just saying hypothetically. Yeah. Because, like, this is so dependent on you having done those raids. And, again, like, I think it needs to be, like, I'm all for them giving nods to stuff and, like, rewarding people for doing the additional content, but without making the Omega raids mandatory. I think this is them taking things a little too far, because you don't even know Omega is from space unless you've done the raid. Or no, did they say that the Alligans just found it? I can't remember. Did MSQ say, oh yeah, Omega was from space, or did that come from the Omega raids and we thought that it was built by the Omega or by the Alligans? I can't remember now when we got the information, but like, yeah, Either way, like, It's not here, but it definitely came this way. It must have used the portal. Time to go through and see what we find. Nothing nearby save malfunctioning units. Come, the portal awaits. Hello? What is your query? Ah, I found you, or you found it. Yeah-huh. What are you doing here? I am looking at the tree. Quite an unusual specimen. What is the device attached to it? The tree is a sample collected from another star. As it cannot survive in our environment, however, it requires life support. That is the function of the device. To go to such lengths to sustain it, is there something special about this tree? Being foreign matter, protocol requires that we study it. As this task has been completed, the specimen may be discarded. However, when I behold the tree, I am made to feel as though there is a problem. In order to become strong, we have continued to enhance ourselves. Like we did countless others, we conquered the star whence this tree came. It is the last remnant of a dead world, and there is nothing towards which it may aspire. Yet it grows, extends its branches, sprouts leaves, produces seeds. Why does it seek to continue? Why was it made to behave in such a way? And to what end? I do not understand. I see. Out of curiosity, does this pertain to your duty? No, it does not. My apologies. I shall return to my designated post and assume a state of combat readiness. So, it was acting outside of orders. Perhaps it is simply a malfunctioning Omicron. These are by no means uncommon. But it may also be a unit possessed of the ability to make decisions. One not unlike Sir. I believe this bears further investigation. To endeavor to live even if we must depend on forces beyond our control. Tell me, Shizune, one day when this adventure comes to or becomes a part of your epic, do you think I will be mentioned in it? Of course you will. Oh, this one. You're not here. Oh, I don't know, because I don't want to make that sound like I'm ridiculing him. I'm gonna go with what my heart chose first. Of course. Why wouldn't you be? You truly think so? That would be a... Nay, I shouldn't say such things until the moment comes to pass. Never mind the embarrassment. Well, we had best get on with our task. Tracking down Sir and understanding the nature of the emotion which bars our way. Grahatia is ready to take the next step. We should return to the outpost for now. The others will wish to hear about the errant Omicron. Okay. That's not what I wanted. No. Sorry, River. That was an accident. Bye. I've given them the short of it, if you would care to provide the full account. It appears the two of you made a promising discovery. Graha says you found a suspicious Omicron. That's good, because the units here were of no help. They all had the same thing to say about the Extended Operations Unit, that there's no way to arrange a direct meeting. Still, that served to prove that it's business as usual at the outpost. But enough about us. Tell me you learned something more useful. An Omicron trying to make sense of the meaning of life. None of the others were even a fraction as philosophical. This unit may well be in a position of leadership. Perhaps even one of those that comprise Sir. As we know, the Omicrons invade other stars and enhance themselves using the spoils of the conquest. With the technology at their disposal, they should be able to alter their bodies, be it in part or in whole. Setting aside the question of motive, if Sir, for example, wished to have an ordinary Omicron's body, I see no reason why it would not be possible. The problem is how to go about ascertaining if that's what happened. When I attempted to probe further, it promptly ended the conversation. If it is indeed Sir, I doubt it would willingly reveal its true identity. I have an idea. We use lightning on the console again, but we make it stronger. Much stronger. At the moment, or at that moment, should the unit exhibit a reaction, that could suggest that it has a connection to Sir. An inspired idea. I dare say it is worth a try. I had a feeling you'd be on board. This time, you must allow me to do the honors. I will stand guard in case your incantation draws sentries to the scene. For my part, then, I will approach our subject and divert its attention. During which time, Shizune, I want you to observe it closely for anomalous behavior. I should mention that, shortly before you returned, an Omicron appeared from the same direction. Rather than entering the outpost, however, it headed off towards the console. At first, I assumed it was a unit on patrol, but perhaps... that could only be our errant Omicron. I must seek it out and begin our operation at once. All right, Alphino and I will stand by at the console. And when it's time, I'll unleash a veritable storm. This will work, I'm sure of it. After all, our comrades are watching over us. Come, my friend. Let us find this this stout-plagued Omicron. Mm-hmm. Okay. God damn it. I don't want to fight you guys. I want to do story. So are the twins over here? No? Okay. It is you again. What is your query? You are the one that was observing the tree, are you not? Oh, glad am I to find you again. I have a question for you, you see, about the device which sustains the tree. Provided it does not necessitate the disclosure of restricted information, very well. Graha has begun distracting the Omicron. Soon, Alize will strike the console with lightning. Observe M17 closely for blah blah blah. Okay. Busted. We caught you, sir. An anomaly, you say? Performing a diagnostic. Error confirmed. My connection to Central Command is suffering from intermittent failures. I must leave at once and present myself for maintenance at the nearest facility. You will excuse me. What you need, my friend, isn't maintenance. It's to confront the truth. While we spoke, our comrade struck the console used to communicate with Sir. That is the cause of your anomaly. You are connected to Sir, aren't you? Affirmative. To that end, you sought to assert this fact. Or to what end you sought to assert this fact, I do not know. But before we speak further, we must move away from the other units. I do not wish for them to know my true identity. Very well. Our friends are at the console. Let us head there. This unit struggles to understand why the tree continues to grow despite being destined to die. Let us shed light on its doubts, that we may shine the way forward. If naught is amiss with the other Omicrons, I dare to hope we have found that which prevents our advance. A little jolt works wonders, doesn't it? All that's left is to have this Omicron divulge the truth to us.
As you have surmised, I am part of the shared intelligence of Stigma 1. It was my charge to determine the optimal path to achieving our prime function. His body had been abandoned by its former owner and lay unused. I took it and abandoned my own, and with it, my duty.
May we ask why you did this? From what we gather, it seems to be a personal matter.
Our kind did not always look as we do now. Long ago, we possessed frail and feeble bodies. Beleaguered by stronger races, our ancestors took to augmenting their flesh in order to defend themselves. What began with limited parts eventually spread to the whole body, and at last, a means was discovered to convert the mind into data, rendering even the brain obsolete. Such complete mechanical beings were called the Omicrons, and by their might, we came to reign supreme over the star. But even then, we did not feel secure. For we knew that the universe was home to civilizations aside from our own. Civilizations that may be stronger still than us. Rather than risk becoming the subjugated, we chose to become the subjugator. We began our conquest of the stars, that we might acquire the resources and knowledge we needed to reign supreme. We were successful in that endeavor. So powerful did we become, we could lay low even the mighty dragons. But then something unexpected happened. I began experiencing an error. I could no longer determine an optimal path.
You were malfunctioning.
I performed numerous full system scans, each time finding no issues. Yet the error persisted. It was then that I speculated. What could happen if we grew so powerful as to have no equal? To become stronger was essential to our existence. Our every action has been in service to this objective. But if nothing lies beyond this, can it be truly said that it was essential? Have we been engaging only in wanton destruction?
Oh, I know the answer to that one. It's yes.
You could find no threat to justify your purpose.
The Omicrons will never leave this star. They will stand by until their reserves of energy are spent. For I have no path to offer them. None.
It is not our place to pass judgment on the deeds of the Omicrons.
Yes, it is.
But surely, this does not have to spell the end of your people. With your power and knowledge, the possibilities are endless. Why not seek out a new purpose?
That is impossible. In the beginning, we had a higher purpose than our pursuit of power. But we lost sight of it when we so irrevocably altered our fundamental forms. When we cast aside our flesh, so too did we cast aside all that defined us. nothing remains of who we once were. I have no aspirations. No longer can I dream. The vital spark is lost. Lost amidst circuitry and code and commands.
Ah. I believe I know how to overcome this despair. The words are ready in my mind, but ere I speak them, I want you to make me a promise. Be it across time or space, our promises have always connected us. And so I ask that you indulge me once more, that this won't be the end.
I can't. Not again.
Forcing you through this again is the last thing I want, and I'm sorry. But we've never broken a promise to each other. So I ask that you have faith in us, and hear my request. First, I want to visit Ishgard with you, properly. We scarcely had time to look around last time. I should like it very much if you could show me the sights. Next, you must regale me with your greatest adventures, in the places where you lived them, if possible. I may have read about all your deeds, but there is no substitute for a first-hand account. And last but not least, a new adventure together, unlike any we've experienced before. We'll travel the lands, cross the seas, and take to the skies upon the eternal wind, and it will be marvelous. It will. If you would humor me a moment. When we awaken each morning, how can we prove that we're the same individual who retired the night before? Through the remembrance of past events, we might say. We have our memories, yet there are times when we forget or recall incorrectly. What of our bodies, then? It is the same one, we might say, yet technically speaking, as living beings, our bodies are constantly changing. It will never be as it was at an earlier point in time.
In your case, Graha, it's literally not the same body.
Our souls are no more immutable. On our star, people are known to inherit the souls of others, yet they are decidedly different beings.
Well, debatable on that one.
For my part, I've subjected my totality to much and more. I've made my body into an extension of a tower, blended my soul and memories with those of another self. And each time I would ask myself, what is it that makes me, me?
Were you able to determine an answer?
No. But that doesn't mean I'm confused. It simply means I'm the same as everyone else. So I posit this. Who we were need not describe what we now hold in our hearts. Whatever came before, what matters most is the present. For me, that is being here with my friends, full proud of how much we've grown together. So I urge you to not give up. Heed your heart's desire and hope that the future you long for shall be realized.
I cannot. We cannot. We cannot understand desire, nor comprehend hope. We do not know how to create such things.
We are not unlike, you and I too have struggled to find the courage to express and embrace my wants. If you like, I will tell you a tale. A tale of a world on the brink. Of a people who never gave up on the future. Of a man who realized his grandest dreams and then awakened to a grander reality.
You idiot! Just once, stay with us to the end.
A crystalline path. He has paved it for us. Oh, they all leave so easily, as if it's nothing. How do they think we feel? The next time we meet, I'll give him such a flick, and that'll be just to just to start. Fools, all of them. Fools! Amidst the sadness of Alphino's continents, there is a newfound determination. That crystalline path, Graha has paved it for us. Difficult as it is, we must carry on. For our friends and all who await us in faith. So come, let us seek the path's beginning. It appears to be near the outpost. I'm just gonna go back via teleporting. I won't let it break me. Don't you worry. I never have and I never will. I mean, yeah, we are gonna get them back, so, you know. Look, Shizune, a portal is opened. It will surely deliver us true. It must. Look up, Shizune. It's as though the stars are being devoured by the dead sun. And that's where we're headed, into the maw of darkness. Well, here's where the path begins, and it ascends to dizzying heights. Let us make our way one step at a time. Now more than ever, we must walk as one. Will you go and take Alize's hand? Our friends got us this far. Their courage, their strength, their wisdom, their love. We owe it to them to continue, no matter how long it takes. Should you start to fall, we'll be here to catch you. I know you'll do the same for us. Graha paved this path for us. We are meant to follow it. Bancred would scout the road ahead. Y'shtola and Urianger would trade opinions on esoteric subjects. Graha would join in their discussion, or else chat with me and Alize about the mission. Estinian would be at the rear, apart yet present. All the while you would come and go, wherever you are needed, and together we would travel. All I can hear are my footfalls, my heartbeat. It's so much quieter now. But the fact we can breathe and continue on is proof that the others are still with us. They are. They are, aren't they? So my plan is to go until for the next like 20 minutes or until the dungeon, whichever comes first. And then we'll wrap up the expansion tomorrow. I'm gonna be honest, I thought the Ea and the Omicron were gonna take longer. I thought there would be more side quests. And that the MSQ would take longer. The innumerable lights that shine in the distance, to think they could all, or that they all could have birthed civilizations. To think that everything they built has gone to dust, their peoples lost to despair. Of the stars floating in this sea of midnight, ours is a lonely aberration. Okay, but like I've done the Hildebrand quests. What about Poo Poo and their people, like his people? And yet, no matter how many worlds we have met their ends, with you and Alize beside me, there's nothing I fear. No oceans so vast I cannot cross. Those broken stars I see, shattered, ruptured, unraveled. I wonder if they're also worlds recreated at their ends. The sight of them fills me with a sorrow I cannot describe, and a truth I cannot deny. Birth and death, whence we came and where we'll return. A wheel from which there is no escape. Oh, no, not tonight. I figure dungeon plus trial plus everything that comes after the trial should cover a good chunk of the stream. Maybe we'll have time to do the side quest dungeons, but I don't think so. I think we are largely... Oh, I see. Going to be wrapping up MSQ tomorrow. And then I'll save all of the 6.0 patch stuff for when I finish Digimon, for when we get back to Final Fantasy XIV. It's all a dream, isn't it? A long, elaborate dream. Any moment now, I'll wake up in my bed, still a student, grandfather alive. I'd go about my day, relieved as the fragments of that other life fade away. And that would be happiness, wouldn't it? That none of it... No. No, I won't give up these experiences. Good and bad, they are mine. They are me. The portal is barely visible from up here. Truly, we've come far. Much farther than we would have, or than would have been possible had we kept chasing perfect ideals as we did in the past. It is because we have known failure and frustration, that we have learned and grown from them, that Heidelin has entrusted us with this mission, that with the fate of the very star. I mean, again, I think that kind of contradicts the theme of the expansion, because if you were willing to settle like that, and you weren't willing to chase perfection, then we would have settled for the moon plan, right? Save who we can, fuck off away from the planet. But no, we decided we didn't want to leave anybody behind, and so we came here. Me? Oh, I still have plenty of legs left in me, don't you worry. It's you I'm worried about. You always push yourself so hard for us, for everyone. And while we're here, we'll make sure to bear our share of the burden. Rest assured, I am fine. But thank you for your concern. What of yourself? Though we can't afford to be too leisurely, neither need we rush unduly. We've crossed an impossible distance to stand where we are now, and we're but a few steps away from journey's end. It will be over before we know it. Well, this is it. The end of the path. And the beginning of whatever awaits. There will be greater hardships. We may be made to feel powerless. Yet come what may, let us have no regrets. No, let us have pride in what we have achieved. In what we achieved, and how it changed us for the better. That's worth fighting for. And dying for, as they did. But they didn't! Yasholi even straight up calls it out. Bedtime? Alright, you have a good night, Ash. I'm probably gonna be wrapping up within the next 10 minutes as well, so. There are some structures up ahead. Still a ways to go before we reach the dead sun. Given all this, I know how naive it must sound to hope it all works out somehow. Still, you'll forgive me if I wish for it all the same. And for you most of all. Not that you of all people need it. It's just, after all the help you've given me, for once I want to be the one to help you. Actually, the end of this quest might be... We'll see. I'm probably gonna stop at a point that feels good at this point, because, you know, we're at the precipice. Kinda literally. Yeah, well, there's... I can't remember if it's at the end of this quest, but I know there's a whole thing of, like, looking around here and stuff before we even continue with MSQ, and so this might actually be a good stopping point. Of all the recreated worlds we've seen, this one seems or feels the most familiar. This is almost... Normal? It's not unlike many cities we know, but it's deathly quiet. Mayhap the inhabitants are within the buildings, or invisible to our senses. Wrong on both counts. There is simply no one here. Medion! This is how I found it when I arrived. Another star which once pulsed with life, but no longer. How it ended, I do not know. Invasion, sickness, suicide. None can say. None lived to speak for the dead. They are gone. Gone. Search all you like, but you'll only end up turning back. Yeah, so this quest feels like a good stopping point. If what Medion says is true, what are we supposed to do? You think you've caught me? This form is barely a drop from the ocean that swells within the dead sun. Even so, I could easily unmake you. You are only still alive because of your comrades, but they cannot protect you forever. Until they fade away, I'll satisfy myself with watching you try, and fail, to find a way out of this lifeless place. If there is no one here, then neither should there be a motion to bar our way. Yet Medion seems convinced we'll turn back. What riddle is this? Alright. Bum bum bum! To be continued tomorrow when we will be finishing Endwalker! So yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing the last handful of quests, we'll be doing the dungeon, we'll be doing the trial, we'll be doing all the cutscenes. Maybe do a little where are they now and visit around a few places around the game for reasons. Yeah, maybe also start some Allied Society quests or custom deliveries. We'll see what kind of time we have afterwards. But yeah, and then after tomorrow's stream, I'm actually going to be taking a little break from Final Fantasy because Digimon Time Stranger comes out on technically officially October 3rd, which is a Thursday or Friday. One of those. It's Friday. It comes out on October 3rd, which means I will be starting it on stream on October 5th. I do not have time between now and October 5th to do all 5 patches, or sorry, to do all 5 patches plus the 0.0 patch stuff, like from base Dawn Trail, or not Dawn Trail, Endwalker. Because we've basically got like 6 weeks worth of content and what, 4 or 5 weeks to do it in. 4 weeks to do it in. That's not happening. I don't want to stop in the middle. And since the Endwalker patch quests are their own contained story, stopping with base Endwalker until we have time to get through things without rushing feels like the right move. In the meantime, we're gonna hope and pray that my ADHD doesn't result in Subnautica taking longer than it needs to, and we will be starting that next Tuesday. This Sunday is going to be Left 4 Dead 2 because you guys got me to 100 subs by the end of August. Poll is going on right here, right now in the Discord to decide what I am going to be playing if you guys get me to 100 subs by the end of September. Remember, it is September. And whatever gets second place in the poll is what I'll have to do if we hit 200 subs. So can we hit that 200 sub goal this month? We'll see. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anybody who you think might enjoy my content. Because September is a great time to check it out. But yeah, in the meantime, let me find somebody for us to raid. Who? Let's see here. Who do I want to raid? Hang on. Who do we want to raid tonight? Let's see here. Anybody? Anybody who's not doing stuff that is... Oh. Somebody is a sprout who's unlocking Dancer. Alright. Let's go... Yeah, somebody's doing Stormblood. They might have pre-rolls on. But let's go water a sprout. So yeah. I will be back tomorrow at 7:30 Central when we will be wrapping up Endwalker. Until I see you guys again, I hope you have a good night, stay safe, stay healthy, and take care. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye!